Hi everyone, and happy Thanksgiving today. And I am thankful for the chance to still be able to speak of corruption. And here we go. So my name's Lori Allen. I live at Seaview Terrace in Belfast. And this clip is from the November 17th, 2015 Belfast City Council meeting. The open to the public portion speaks volumes. First up is Roger Lee. He had been on City Council since I moved here in June 2010 and recently stepped down last November. I asked Roger many times to confirm authenticity for my FOIA requests for drainage, zoning, and site plan documents that devastate my private property. City Manager Joe Slocum and City Planner Wayne Marshall manipulated each request and never provided any authentic documents. City Council took the fifth from the beginning in May 2011. Roger is a patent attorney and served on planning boards. He is a major player in the corruption. Before he stepped down, he alleviated his guilty ego and stated that after 5 years, the city should investigate the visible illegal forced flooding to Seaview Terrace that I had been shoving in their faces in over 50 meetings, in public protests, and hundreds of emails. He knew that they wouldn't do it or stop flooding us. It's part of their secret comprehensive plan to turn the private properties in this watershed area into healthcare property through inverse condemnation. And that is when the government targets an area, diminishes the value through flooding, neglect, denial of infrastructure, etc., and takes it without compensating the owner. It is not just my home, it is miles and miles of targeted areas. The public fears retribution for challenging the corruption. They remain silent or sell hell to another, or they are implicated in the corruption. I am the lone threat. Roger has spoken at open to the public meetings a few times since leaving the council in November 2014. He never follows up on his request to investigate the flooding to Seaview Terrace, and it was never done. He is only there for his wants, which is one was to cut a pink-collar City Hall employee for the budget, and for this kiosk, which City Planner Wayne Marshall is another corrupt tale with the Harbor Walk. I'm not going to get into that one. So after Roger speaks, my ex-council rep, Marina Delune, gets up to speak. She chooses to be a delusional sheeple. She refused to do her job as my city council representative and cowered to resident abusers City Manager Joe Slocum, City Planner Wayne Marshall, Code Officer Todd Rosenberg, and City Council Heil Mike Hurley. Marina even stating in a 2012 meeting that it is a rite of passage in Belfast to be abused by Heil Hurley. I have no doubt that Heil Hurley convinced Marina to call me in as a threat to the Chief of Police, Mike McFadden, in 2012. I was interrogated at the station and cleared. I also linked in that meeting the Belfast Time Warner cable guy, Tom, as the chief's brother-in-law, another corrupt secret with access to private homes and computers. Almost everything City Hall does is done corruptly. Here, Marina questions exactly what I have been proving with the comprehensive plan, aka the TPP plan of Belfast. This 10-year committee scam plan herded Sheeple into believing that they were making the comprehensive plan, while the real plan was being written by City Attorney Bill Kelly to target and diminish private properties in the name of economic development and endless wants for more downtown. In November 2012, 20-year Belfast City Tax Assessor, now retired, Bob Whiteley, was shocked at the visible corruption during his tour with me on the flooding destruction. Bob mentioned that the upcoming comprehensive plan and what they were going to do to residents was unbelievable. He also showed me the original 1965 development plans for my neighborhood that the city manager and city planner withheld from my FOIA requests. It proves that there is no natural outlet on Seaview Terrace. The city is force flooding us, a floodplain flood zone, calculating Seaview Terrace genocide, the Gaza Strip of Belfast. Bob said City Manager Joe Slocum flipped out on him for showing me the plans. Bob said he never saw that side of Joe. I could rattle off City Hall corruption after City Hall corruption for hours on end on what I have uncovered alone. Right now is a comprehensive plan, voted in by City Council by a general acceptance of the new ordinances changes in massive binders. They didn't discuss anything. Wayne Marshall just held up these binders and City Council unanimously voted them in. So no one has any idea what was voted in these binders. And that was in September and October of 2014. It is impossible for the public to know what was voted in, including the zoning that I have been requesting since the vote. They freely lie in writing and verbally and bury the official documents. Marina is the queen Sheeple. She had told me that it wasn't worth it to try and hold City Hall accountable. She told me to pray and meditate in 2012. She drops the accountability ball here, and Heil Hurley covers up later in communications. I'm not going to tape that part, but he's stating he will look into it. If his lips are moving, then he's lying and abusing. It's massive and unfolding. From the Harbor Federal Navigation Project and Front Street Shipyard to all the unknown projects and targets to pave paradise and shatter lives by the greed of 1%. The 99% must begin boycotting the 1%. Okay, here's Roger.
Next.
Roger Lee, Belfast. I'm just here to urge that a couple of features of our beloved Harbor Walk have not been completed, and I'm sure it's simply things that people have been working on other projects, but
Sure.
we have a design to improve the east side of the bridge, and I personally always felt that was a very important part of the project because it's really such a mess over there, and here was an opportunity to fix it up the way it should be. And the second is simply a couple of kiosks that would help people who don't know Belfast, and some. I think there's some signage that tells you which way to go to which point. I'm not sure how important that is, but the kiosks. I'm not sure how important that is, but the kiosks with a map. I'm not sure how important that is, but the kiosks with a map and so forth. I'm not sure how important that is, but the kiosks with a map and so forth.
I don't know why that was stuttering.
Marina, Delune, Belfast. Nice to see you. Nice people. Congratulations, Eric. I'm here tonight to speak about what I see as an urgent need for a city committee devoted to studying and developing affordable housing in Belfast, and particularly affordable rental housing. In order, if we get another big company coming into Belfast, those people are going to have to live outside the city of Belfast. But people like me who have been here for 25 years, if my landlord raises his rent, I may have to live outside of Belfast. And I think that there are a number of things that can be done. And I know that there are at least 3 people on this council who feel that it's a very important issue and one that needs to be addressed. I also am here to speak about a concern that I have regarding the comprehensive plan.
Here we go.
When we worked on the comprehensive plan, I think it was 6 years ago now, there was a very clear decision made to allow up to 3 units within the bypass. And I had advocated very strongly for 4 units, but we came to the compromise of 3 units. And every person that was on the council then remembers that as being the case, as a compromise that was worked on extensively. But somehow, when the comprehensive plan ordinances got drawn up, after it had gone through the planning committee, somehow it got dropped back to 2 units
Right.
per house.
Corruption.
And that's what we had beforehand. So, and nobody can tell me how this happened. I ask questions, people remember what happened, what the decision that was made by the comprehensive plan, but nobody knows why the ordinance went back to being 2 units.
That is such a lie. Of course they know. All she has to do is corner city planner Wayne Marshall, he's the one who did it, and city manager Joe Slocum. But she can't get an answer from them because they have a reason for changing it to be two rentals per unit. So, and that's only just one. As I said, it was a huge binder that they voted in. You won't know until you come across something that isn't right, and you're not going to be able to do anything about it.
And it's something that I have actually has affected me, and something that I've noticed. I have been looking for a possible multi-unit building, and I have seen 3 buildings that had 3rd floors that are completely unoccupied. 2 of them would have a water view, and 2 of them would make a really good efficiency apartment. But the thing that I'm really boggles my mind is that there was a beautiful building with 3 kitchens, a kitchen on the 1st floor, kitchen and bath, 1st floor, kitchen and bath, 2nd floor, kitchen and bath, 3rd floor, and 2 bedrooms in each. And the previous owners decided that they would just make it a single family house. So they dropped it back to single family so that they wouldn't have to pay as much in property taxes. But then they lost their grandfather shop, which would have allowed it to continue to be a 3-unit building. So what I'm saying is, there's this building, 3 kitchen that has 3 kitchens and 3 baths, and only 2 families can live in it with our comprehensive plan the way it is. So I hope that there will be an affordable housing committee. I think that there are ways that we could collaborate with Waldo County CAP, and we might even be able to collaborate. We should look at seeing whether it's possible to collaborate with Habitat for Humanity, but I think it's a very, very important issue. So, thank you.
Thank you, Marina. Anyone else?
Let's go on to
Now's your
communications.
opportunity. Communications? Neil?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We
I don't want to.
are very interested. The people who want to do it doesn't sound like you're like talks about how the station.
I want to get to Hurley.
Mike?
Yeah, if you've ever read exactly what Mike Roush's units were involved in, actively involved really doesn't describe it. But I did want to note Veterans Day Parade that I've seen in many years. In the past, I can remember
This is Hyle
seeing,
Hurley.
a color guard and 1 vehicle, and that was it. And this just went on and on. Lots of school kids, and it was really, I thought, really impressive. The other thing, secondly, I wasn't going to mention the affordable housing, but I did want to say, you know, we had these committees, we've had them a number of times, and I think they just completely get wrapped around themselves, and they spend 3 years working like dogs, but they didn't ever come up with anything. And there's a lot of things that could be done. I think Marina's little 3-unit is a good mention. You know, I'd support something if we said you've got to come back within 60 days with 3 things we can do, not in 2 years with something that would be a good idea. You know, because it was very frustrating. I think the best thing that came out so far is we haven't seen a huge response yet. Is the rezoning where another
That's Wayne
unit,
Marshall, the city planner.
and that you can make some of these
He's
lots.
evil.
I think that's going to have a long-term, really positive effect. And I think there's other things we could do, but you know, so.
Okay, so that's what Mike does. When somebody exposes something, he plays along with it. He'll look into it. It sounds like a good idea when he knows exactly why they're not going to do it. Okay, that's enough for now.